welcome to our first Central Youth YouTube video. We can't wait to meet you here every Friday evening to show you a bit about what we've been doing this week, to give you a few recommendations about podcasts and Bible passages, and also to give you a head start on our discussion on Sunday at our tea and chat. I don't know about you, but my week has been totally different to how I expected it to be. There's been a lot of this and an awful lot of this. Whatever your week has held, I hope that you are looking forward to coming and joining us back together in a digital way via Zoom and YouTube and Instagram. We can't wait to see you there. Now over to David.
The parable of the Good Samaritan. On one occasion, an expert in the law stood up to test Jesus. "Teacher," he asked, "what must I do to inherit eternal life?" "What is written in the law?" he replied. "How do you read it?" He answered, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your strength, and with all your mind, and love your neighbour as yourself." "You have answered correctly," Jesus replied. "Do this and you will live." But he wanted to justify himself. So he asked Jesus, "And who is my neighbour?" In reply, Jesus said, "A man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho when he was attacked by robbers. They stripped him of his clothes, beat him, and went away, leaving him half dead. A priest happened to be going down the same road, and when he saw the man, he passed by on the other side. So too a Levite, when he came to the place and saw him, passed by on the other side. But a Samaritan, as he travelled, came where the man was, and when he saw him, he took pity on him. He went to him and bandaged his wounds, pouring on oil and wine. Then he put the man on his own donkey, brought him to an inn, and took care of him. The next day he took out 2 denarii and gave them to the innkeeper. 'Look after him,' he said, 'and when I return, I will reimburse you for any extra expense you may have.' Which of these 3 men do you think was a neighbour to the man who fell into the hands of the robbers?" The expert in the law replied, "The one who had mercy on him." Jesus told him, "Go and do likewise."
Thank you for reading, David. What a familiar passage this is for us, or for most of us, and yet it still carries such an incredible example of what it means to love and to care for our neighbours. So the 2 things that I've got for us are love and above. Jesus says that the 2 most important commandments he's ever given are loving God and loving your neighbour as yourself. Love is the most important command. We live in a world that has such a need for genuine love shown, especially in this time. And our first challenge I want to give us is to receive the love that God has given you and has for you, and to choose humility as we choose to love other people as we love ourselves. Number 2 is above. We see the Samaritan having mercy on the beaten man. We read that he goes over to him, he bandages his wounds, pours oil and wine on them, puts the man on his own donkey, brings him to the inn and pays for his rest and recovery, offering to pay for any extra expense the man may need. What we should remember here is that the Samaritan was the outcast one. He's probably the only one of the 3 you'd expect and accept to just walk past. And yet he stops. And he goes over to the man, and he doesn't just scurry off. Remember, he doesn't know if this guy's just after all his money. And yet he goes, he bandages, he takes him into the inn and pays for it. That is above and beyond love. That's what our world is needing right now. And so the second challenge I want to give you is similar to the first. How can we step into that above, I was doing so well, that above and beyond love this week? self-sacrificial love, time and money sacrificing love and care. You've probably got a lot more time at home than before, so how can you spend that time to love the neighbours near you? We'd love to hear your stories. We'd love to hear how you're demonstrating that above and beyond love. And Stephen now is going to give us some examples and challenges of how we can do that this week.
This week's challenge is to do something kind for one of your neighbours. This could really be anything, so get creative and do something that works for you. I think I'm going to do some painting. Make sure you get a picture of yourself doing your act of kindness and send it to Snev on WhatsApp by Wednesday so that we can all see them next week. So I've got my card with an encouraging message inside, so now it's time to deliver it. Really looking forward to seeing what ideas you come up with. And now it's over to Andrew with a podcast recommendation.
Hey guys, hope you're getting on okay. Quick podcast recommendation for you all. Recently I've been listening to some stuff from Hackney Church in London, and last night I listened to their one talking about confidence. It was super helpful for me to be reminded that when things are stressful and uncertain, my confidence still lies entirely in Jesus. Maybe at this time that would be helpful for you to be reminded of as well. So I'll post the link in the WhatsApp group and you can let me know what you think. I'm praying for you all and can't wait to see you soon.
Hi guys, and this week I get the really fun task of recommending a song to you all. Something that I've had on my Spotify playlist for the past couple of weeks has been Testify by Jarvis Campbell. I think I'm pronouncing his name right. It does have an E in it, but I may be wrong. So the song is basically just a testimony to how great God is, that he's our king, and what we're made to do is just to sing his praises. The song talks a little bit about how we worry about our identity, rely often on our own strength rather than God, but actually we need to remember that all of this comes from God, so we can be really bold and confident that he's our creator. So what we're here to do is just to lift it all up in worship, to proclaim his name, and it's a really catchy song, so I hope that you guys enjoy it. So pop it on your Spotify playlist, have a listen, get back to me, tell me what you think. Maybe you don't like it, or maybe you do. So yeah, now we're finishing up and going back over to Sarah.
So that's it for this week. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you have enjoyed our first Central Youth YouTube video. And don't forget to be getting involved in that meaningful challenge that Stephen gave us. Go and be kind to your neighbour in whatever creative way you want to do it. But for now, have a great week and we will see you back here next Friday.
Like and subscribe below, please.